Hi all, it's Dr. Poklar again with another edition of Poklar's Ponderings. This one is specifically for the parents, so it's not another video for kids. I want to speak directly to parents. There are a couple of thoughts that I've had over the last couple of weeks as I really thought about the fact that all of our lives have changed substantially in different ways, but still changed. And there were a couple of quotes or ideas that I'm living my life with day to day that bring me comfort, and I was hoping that it could bring some comfort to each of you. So I'm going to share my screen with you and share two different thoughts. The first being that the move to distance learning 2020 is not homeschooling. I know we're calling it homeschooling, and a lot of us are going about it as homeschooling, especially those of us who are working from home or who are at home without a job right now. But it's not homeschooling. It's crisis schooling. Our kids are in crisis. Our world is in crisis. Homeschooling is something that people take a lot of time to set up and to prepare, where the parent is viewed as the teacher because they've been doing it all the time. They're not viewed as a substitute stand-in teacher. The parent had a choice in what was being taught and how it was being taught, and they made the decision as a parent that homeschooling was what they wanted to do for their children. None of us that are teaching kids who were in a school system are doing homeschooling right now. We are doing crisis schooling. And honestly, if we are meeting our kids' needs to the best of our abilities, then we're likely knocking it out of the ballpark right now. And that leads to the second thought. Let me pull it up for you all. And that is, good enough parenting is good enough. And honestly, it's good enough always and in all ways. This is something that I share with a lot of the families that I work with, and something that I tell myself all the time when I'm feeling like I made a misstep, or I yelled too much, or I didn't listen to what my kids were trying to say, or just feeling like I wasn't living up to all of the expectations that I had for myself, or that Pinterest had for me, or that the world had for me. But research has found that good enough parenting is good enough. In fact, being a good enough parent doesn't have any different outcomes for your kid than being the helicopter parent, or the parent that meets all of the kids' needs, or the parent that's viewed as perfect and does everything right all the time. As long as you're there for your child emotionally, everything else falls into place. You don't have to be the best at teaching them how to write their X's. You don't have to be the best at getting them to type their entire answer in complete sentences. Right now, your kids need somebody who can be there for them and who can listen to them when they're feeling like their world is changing, because it is. And this isn't just now. It's not just during times of crisis, but throughout their entire lives. Think about the teachers, about the adults in your life when you were a kid. What stands out? Was it the specific things that they said or did, or was it the way that they made you feel? The way that they made you feel heard and cared about and supported? So again, we're not homeschooling. We're crisis schooling. And in the midst of crisis schooling, good enough parenting and good enough teaching is good enough, always and in all ways. There's another meme that's floating around. I don't remember it word for word, but the part that I really appreciated is it says relationships before rigor, and it's going around all of the school systems, and it's really just saying that right now relationships matter. In reality, that's all that really mattered to begin with. This is just shining a light on it. So to all the parents out there, all of you who I'm sure life looks different today than it looked a month and a half, 2 months ago, you're doing well. Being there, showing up, and trying matters more than you can possibly imagine for your kids, and more than they're probably aware of right now. Good enough parenting is good enough, especially when we're crisis schooling. I'm thinking of you all, sending you all good thoughts. Poklar's Ponderings, signing off.